Welcome to Palio's Chalkboard Thursday. If you're wondering, yes, that is a horse. We are shooting in Saratoga Springs, New York, home of the oldest thoroughbred racetrack and sporting venue in the United States, Saratoga Racecourse, and home to Palio. We're an advertising agency. Over the next few weeks, we are going to fill this chalkboard with insightful, thought-provoking topics around branding, marketing, and multi-channel integration within pharma. So sit back and enjoy Palio's Chalk Chat.
Hi, I'm Maureen Wendell, Senior Vice President of Account Services at Palio. And in today's Chalk Chat, we're going to talk about changing customer behavior. With business planning season launching into high gear, brand teams and agency teams are focused on developing tactical plans for 2013. By now, most brands have hammered out a strategic plan that defines clear business objectives such as increasing market share, growing revenue, and maximizing profits. It's often at this juncture where we hit a stumbling block, but because while we've outlined clear business objectives, clear behavioral and communication objectives have not been defined. And strong behavioral objectives ultimately spell out exactly what we're asking our customer to do. And in the end, a great tactic is one that successfully drives that very specific behavior. So in the absence of clear behavioral and communication objectives, we have no way to prioritize the tactics that will drive our marketing mix. So to solve that, I've outlined 5 keys to developing clear behavioral communication objectives. So number 1 is one at a time. That's one segment at a time. Make sure you're focused on a single customer segment. Patients, nurses, physicians, payers, and even pharmacists all play a different role in the growth of a brand. If you lump them all together, guess whose behavior you will shift? No one's. So you'll likely need to map out behavioral objectives for each of your key audiences, however many are critical to your brand. So number 2 is set a baseline. What do they currently believe, that particular customer? And what action or behavior does that belief drive? The belief should relate to your category and possibly to your brand if it's established. Something very general like all pharmaceuticals are too expensive is broad, and you likely will be unable to shift that at the brand communications level. Number 3, define a belief. This is a desired belief. To shift the behavior, we first need to shift the belief. The belief shift must result from exposure to your brand's promise. In other words, don't focus a belief shift on efficacy if you plan to expose your audience to a promise of safety or convenience with your brand. Number 4, define a behavior. This is the end goal. The desired behavior is what you will achieve once you have successfully shifted the customer's belief. Make sure it conveys an action that you want your customer to take. A few examples of behaviors that a brand may drive to achieve its business and financial objectives are to convince 40% of internal medicine physicians to prescribe your product as first-line therapy for lowering cholesterol. If we look at a patient behavioral shift, maybe we want to convince 60% of patients suffering from mild to moderate psoriasis to ask their physician about treatment with your brand. And lastly, you want to be specific. That's number 5. Strengthen your behavioral objective with specific measurements and details. For customers, apply behavioral descriptors like high decile writing physicians, or ideally a mindset, progressive interventional cardiologists, or conservative rheumatologists. And then you want to quantify as much as possible. How many customers are you targeting to demonstrate this behavior? All of them? 80%? 50%? And how many patients do you want them to demonstrate that behavior with? All of those patients? Half of those patients? Strong and clear behavioral objectives are going to go a long way in measuring the ROI of your tactical plan and making adjustments for the future, like 2014. After all, we know that planning season will be here before we know it. So thanks for tuning in, and be sure to check out next week's installment of Chalk Chat.